Welcome aboard the Bitcoin Express. My name is Chase. Let's get to it. Do not click away from this video because this might be one of the most important videos you ever watch, and I really mean it when it comes to security in terms of preventing a SIM swap, which is when someone steals your phone number, protecting your accounts, and protecting your cryptocurrency. I searched all over YouTube, all over online, looking for a complete comprehensive list that had everything in one place that was easy to understand. But I couldn't find it, so I decided to make this video myself. And I have a list in front of me that I'm going to read through quickly, and then we're going to go a little more into detail of each of these tips. And if you're wondering why I made this video, it's because in the past, I was a victim myself of a SIM swap. But because I was prepared, because I knew exactly what I had to do, none of my crypto was stolen, all of my accounts were secure, and I had my phone number back on my phone within 2 hours. So let's jump into this checklist. So category number 1 is prevention, and that includes changing your email password regularly, changing the email password regularly of the primary email connected to the phone plan, never store passwords online, on a computer, or on your phone, create a security PIN with your phone plan, set protection measures with your phone plan, and use Google Authenticator or Authy for two-factor authentication. So that's prevention. Number 2, preparation for an attack. Download an app that you can call over Wi-Fi. Become an authorized user for your phone plan or have access to the account. Back up your email with one or more other emails. Set notifications for all important services, so crypto, bank accounts, credit cards, and spread your cryptocurrency holdings across different wallets. And then number 3, how to solve the issue if it actually happens. Number 1, identify you have been hacked, you have been a victim of a SIM swap. So this would include loss of service plus some email notifications or being locked out of an account. Call your phone provider and disable your service. Number 3, disable or lock your accounts if possible. And number 4, remove your phone as a backup from important accounts. So let's get into number 1, changing your email password regularly. The longer that you have had your email password online, the higher the chance that you have been part of a breach. And if you don't change your password regularly, it's very likely that someone out there has your email and your password. If you go to the website ihavebeenpawned.com, you could type in your email account and see if you ever were part of a breach. So I put a very common email here, johnsmith@gmail.com. And if we click it, we'll see this email was part of 146 breach sites. If we scroll down, we can see all of these applications and websites that had a hack in the past. So this email, likely whoever owns this, their password and the email is with a hacker. So let me try another email here, right? davidjones6000@gmail.com. We see good news, no pawnage found. It was never part of a breach. But continuously, you have to change your password so that if you are part of this breach, you will be safe, because a password is a key to all of your accounts. If someone knows your email and the password, they can go into all sorts of accounts, your Facebook, your Instagram, social media, bank account. All they do is go to the sign-in page, they type in the email, and then they click forgot password. And then it sends them the email, and now they're in your account. So that's for you to change your password regularly. But number 2, the password for the primary account holder of your phone plan also has to secure their email and change their password regularly. So let's say you're on a phone plan and your dad or your mom, your brother, your sister is the primary account holder and it's not you, and the whole account is linked to their email. That email also has to be secure, because if a hacker gets into the primary account's email, they're now able to hack into your provider, let's say T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon. And with that information, they can convince the cell phone plan to transfer your number to their number. And this can be done by them calling up. They could do it over the phone with an automated system, or they could call up and speak with a representative. But what they normally do is they call up and they do it over an automated system. It's less easy to detect that way. So again, remind your father, your sister, your brother, whoever's the primary account holder, to regularly change their password. And all of these passwords that you change to, number 3, do not store them on a computer. Do not send them in an email. do not have them online. Do not take a picture of them. Write them down somewhere, because if it's online, it can be hacked. So coming to number 4, let's say you're nervous that you won't be able to secure your emails. Well, there's a second measure that you can take, and this is adding a security PIN to your cell phone plan. And most cell phone providers allow you to create a PIN. So when you call the company, or even when you show up in person and you want to make a change to account, they'll ask you for a secret PIN. It could be 4, 6, 10 or more numbers. And again, this is also something you want to change regularly. So even if they know your password, they get into your account, they want to change your number to their number, a SIM swap, they won't be able to because they don't have the PIN. And another measure you can take on top of this, let's say they do know your PIN, or let's say they also have your email. You can also call your cell phone provider and set some additional measurements in place. For example, you can say if anyone ever wants to port a number or change a number, make a change, it cannot be done through the automated system. It has to be done with a live representative. You could even get more secure and say no changes over the phone. It all has to be done in person, because in person, it's not likely, and it doesn't really happen that a hacker is able to make a change to an account in person. So you can set other measures in place depending what you think is needed or what you think is comfortable. And the last thing you need to do, if all of these things failed, they know your PIN, they know your password, they impersonated you, they got into your account, they have all your information now, they have your phone number, they have your email, so they can get into any one of your accounts. The last defense, the ultimate defense, is using either Google Authenticator or the Authy app. And this is two-factor authentication. And you might be familiar with two-factor authentication. This is when after you enter a password, you get another password sent to you. Usually it's sent to an email address, or it's sent to your phone number. But if someone has your email, if someone has your phone number, then that kind of two-factor authentication is useless. So you need a different way to do this. And that's again with one of these apps, Authenticator or Authy. And the way it works is when you sign up for this service, it's an app on your phone, and you'll get a QR code, and you'll also get a secret key, right? Again, you do not want to save this on your files. You do not want to email this to yourself. There's only two options. You either print it out, or you write down that secure code and you store it somewhere offline. And the reason why you would want to print it out is because then you can use the QR code. So anytime you have a device, you can just scan the QR code and now the password is on your phone. And what's important about these codes is that they're not linked to an email and they're not linked to a phone number. They're linked to the device itself. So if someone hacks your phone number, right, they're not going to have access to this authenticator password. And it's on the device itself, physical. So they would actually, whoever wanted to use it would have to get physical device of your phone or your tablet. And there's these two applications, Google Authenticator and Authy. So after you enter your password on your website, whether it's Coinbase or Kraken or Gemini or any website really, it'll send you a code that expires every 30 seconds. So this is very secure. Now, a very important thing to note is that if you use Authy, so not Google Authenticator, but Authy, it has a multi-device feature where you can sync all of these devices. You could do it on your phone, on your computer, on an Android, on an iPhone. All of these devices, it could be linked through a phone number, multi-device. But it's very important that if you use this feature, as soon as you transfer the code Authy onto a new device, turn off multi-device. Because if you keep multi-device on, and someone steals your number through a SIM swap or a porting attack, they will have access, or they possibly will get access to your authenticator. So whether it's Google Authenticator or Authy, make sure to have it offline, write it down, do not put it on a computer. So after all of these things go through and they get access to, let's say, your crypto account, they still won't get in because they don't have this authenticator code. So this is prevention. But now we need to talk about preparation if the attack actually happens. So the first thing you want to do in preparation before you ever are a victim of an attack like this is download an app where you can make calls over Wi-Fi. Because you have to remember, if you have your phone number stolen from you, you have no service, your phone cannot make calls. It can't even make calls over Wi-Fi because there's still no number connected to it. So you need to download an app over Wi-Fi that can be used without being associated to any number. So the one I've used in the past, because remember I told you I was a victim of a SIM swap, I used Dingtone. And there's other ones out there, but this is something you should always have. You should have it right now even, because you never know when you'll need to make a phone call over Wi-Fi. So this is something you should go and do today. Download an app where you can call over Wi-Fi. Number 2, become an authorized user of your cell phone plan, or have a person who is the primary account holder or authorized user be available if you ever need them to call up the cell phone plan. But that's not so practical. That's why you want to either be the primary holder of the account or become an authorized user. This gives you the permission to call up your cell phone provider or show up at the store and make a change to the account or disable account in the event of a hack. And a part of this is knowing the information of the account. So you have to know who the primary account holder is, the addresses, the PIN code. You have to know all that information. Don't wait for the hack to happen. Find out all the information you have to have now or know today so that if you do call them in the future, everything can be settled in 5 or 10 minutes. And the next thing you want to do in preparation for an attack is back up your email with one or more other emails, because usually we have an email and it might be connected to just our phone number. But remember, if someone hacks your email and they have your phone number, you're locked out totally. So the only way to recover it is if you have another email connected to it. So let's say your email is johndoe@gmail.com and it gets hacked, and your phone number gets hacked. There's going to be no way for you to back up or get back into your account. So you would want to have another email account connected to it. Maybe you have a Yahoo account, AOL account, or your work account. Use that as a backup so that you can still get back into your account even if you get locked out. And the next thing you want to do in preparation for an attack is set up notifications with all important services. Many of the cryptocurrency exchanges do this by default. Whenever you log in from a new device, whenever you make a transaction, whenever you try to change a password, you'll get an email that a change has been made. But you could do this on bank accounts too. You could do it with credit cards if a certain amount of money is spent, or money spent that is not in person. Most services allow you to add notifications that you can get an email or to your cell phone. And again, if your cell phone is stolen, you won't get that notification. But as long as it's connected to emails or different emails, you'll still get those notifications and you'll know if someone ever tries to attack you. And the last thing you want to do in preparation for an attack is spread your cryptocurrency holdings. Of course, you don't want to keep it in one spot, because if that one exchange or one account gets hacked, you lost everything. You might not even have an intention to be trading all of your cryptocurrency or selling it for a long time. So keep some maybe offline in a Ledger Nano wallet, or maybe you can split it across 2 exchanges, but do not keep it all in one spot. So we talked about prevention, we talked about preparation, but now we're going to talk about what you actually do if you become the victim of this attack. But if you do all of these things that I went through already in the video, the chances are extremely low of getting to a point where you actually are the victim of a SIM swap. So if you are, you first have to identify the problem. And it's pretty easy to identify. The first thing you'll see is you just lose service randomly. You might be in a spot where you always normally are and get regular service. Boom, you have no service. Now, if you're still connected, logged in to email on your phone, or you're still connected to email on your computer, you'll see changes to accounts. For example, you might get an email from Gmail or Yahoo, whatever service you use. Someone logged into your account, attempt to change the password. You might get an email from Binance. You might get an email from Coinbase, and it said, attempt to change password has been changed. So if you see these 2 things together, loss of service and email notifications, you can be almost 100% sure that you've been the victim of a SIM swap. So right away, remember, we already talked about being prepared, being an authorized user, knowing all the information for your phone account. You call up your provider and you call them up, you're ready, good to go. You know the password, the PIN, all the information. As soon as you get a representative on the line, you say, I want to disable my account. You don't delete the account. This doesn't delete your number or make your number disappear. You just say, I want to disable my account or the phone number. So that number is offline now. So right off of that, as soon as you do this, this saves you a lot of time because now the hacker doesn't have your cell phone and they're going to have a hard time getting into your accounts. But this could take a while. Remember, you're probably going to be doing this over that Wi-Fi app that I mentioned before because you're not going to have any phone service, or you might not be able to call through WhatsApp, for example. And it might take some time. It might take 10 minutes, 20 minutes just to get a representative on the line. So while you're waiting, there are some other things you can do. The first thing is, while you're waiting, you might have gotten that email that someone is trying to change the password on your account or someone logged into your account. And most of these email notifications will have a link in the bottom. If you did not initiate this request, click here to disable your account. So you might have Coinbase, you might have Kraken, you might get this email, password has been changed, and you'll know I did not do that. Right in that email, it'll say disable account. You click it, boom, your account is disabled, it's locked, and no one can take the cryptocurrency from it if you do this in time. And another thing you can do while you're waiting on the phone is disable or remove your phone number from email backups. Because remember what we were saying before. If you get locked out of your account, you can get the information back through your phone number connected to the account or an email connected to the account. But if someone has your phone number, they can keep getting access to all of your accounts. Even if you go into the email they hacked and you change the password, as long as they still have your number, they can continue to change it over and over and over again. So this is the comprehensive checklist of what you need to do to prevent yourself from ever being the victim of one of the attacks. But even if you are the victim of one of these attacks, you'll be prepared and you'll know exactly what to do to solve the issue. So there you have it, the ultimate security checklist. Pause the video, take a screenshot, write it down, print it out, whatever you need to do, and share it with any of your friends that you think would find this important. But by now, you should be a security expert yourself and know exactly how to prevent this from happening. And even if it does happen, you'll be able to fix the problem right away. Please, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.